Well, hello everyone, and welcome back. It is Sunday again, and I'm getting a super late start to my day. I stayed up late last night trying to finish off a custom order, and the goal was finish it, then I can go to bed. Well, that didn't happen. I had 2 left. And I just I'm too tired. I'm starting to make mistakes. I need to stop. So I had to finish that up this morning. And it was just some sewing and putting the little mouths and eyebrows. And so it didn't take me that long. I'm just not moving very quick. At all. I mean, I've been moving so slowly that I watched Heather's 40 some odd minute video. And I got a little bit more than halfway through Stacy's video. And I was like, I need to get my butt moving. So I haven't even brushed my hair yet today. I just clipped it up. Because it's warm. It's really humid. We're expecting some storms this afternoon. And supposedly a cold front right behind it. I'm like, it's the middle of March. Aren't we all wearing green tomorrow? It's not supposed to be cold anymore here. But I'm not going to complain. I like it when it's cold. I just don't like the short days. My goal for the week was, or for the few days, was to crochet just a little bit and work on changing my tags on my plushies for market and changing the inventory system in my square and assigning them numbers. I didn't even get to start. The intention was good, but I didn't get to start because I got this special order and I wanted to get it taken care of, and I just don't like stuff like that hanging over my head. And I still have almost 2 weeks to get the other part done. Plus, I need to figure out how to do it from the computer or the iPad versus the phone, because I can't type on the phone. I come up with some weird stuff when I try to type on the phone. So that I still want to work on. Not just want, but I need to. I really need to. But I mean, I can still do it the way I am if I don't get to it. But I would like to better know what I have in inventory without having to sit there and pick through everything each time, if you know what I mean. Anyways, so we only made 4 different patterns this time. One of which is mine. One I tried before, but I tried with a different yarn. One is the special order, and I got to make 12 of those. And one I was a little disappointed in for 2 reasons, and I'll explain that when I get to it. So the first thing that I tried making this week, and if you watched Heather's video, you've had your fill of these, but I've been needing to make some axolotls for a few markets now. I was down to 2, and they weren't the prettiest of colors, if you know what I mean. And they just, because I can't make a nice display out of them, they just kind of blend in with everything. So I started with these, and I was able to get 3 of them done. So I have been making them out of the Michaels, Home Slim and Sweet Snuggles Light, but I didn't this time. I did them in some Bernat Baby because I have quite a few little scrap balls, partial skeins, that I need to use them up on something. So Heather was making axolotls because she was completely out. And she was showing me them. She's taking a picture and showing me, and she's using the Mystical. Well, I have a tiny little bit of the black. I think it's called Cinder. I have Canyon. I have the pink one, Pink Quartz, I think it's called, green, and then the one that's similar to Cannon but more of a red tone than a rusty orange. So I have those few colors. I don't have a lot to choose from on those. But I did like how her Pink Quartz one turned out. So I think she paired hers with a rust. Well, I went a different direction because I used a color combo that I like to use on Myrtle the Turtle. But not with the Pink Quartz, or yeah, not with the Mystical, because those I do in also the Home Slim and the Parfait Chunky. I just recently, last video, tried them with the Brights. But anyways, so I did this axolotl, and this is my pattern, and I decided instead of putting the bobbles in, I would give them the little floppy legs. So wherever in the pattern it says to do a bobble, you put the single crochet, chain 9, make your little toes, and slip stitch back. That's all you have to do if you have my pattern and you want this type of leg instead of a bobble. Now, of course, the bobble is quicker, but I just wanted the little floppy legs. So this is the Pink Quartz, and I paired it with the Home Slim Rhubarb. So, and these come out a nice size for the same amount of work. If you want them small, you use Parfait Chunky, and they're really cute in Parfait Chunky. So I did that one, and then I had a little bit of yellow left from making that big giant bee. So I was like, what am I going to pair with that yellow? I have a mustard color, but it wasn't enough of a contrast. Like if this particular yellow was more of a baby yellow, I think the mustard would have looked great with it. So this is where I broke out the rust and paired the rust with the yellow. And I did the same thing. Wherever that said to do a bobble, I just did the chain 9 and made the little toes so that it would have the little flappy legs. It's kind of like doing a leggy frog, but a leggy axolotl. So we have that one. And then I had some purple left from my purple project. So we did one out of purple. And I think all of these I used a 12mm eye on. Only because I was too lazy to get up and go get some more. But this is the Home Slim. And this is Bernat Baby. Lilac, I think. But it's such a gorgeous shade of purple. So I made a whopping 3 axolotls. And who was it? Someone just asked me recently, do those still sell? Well, if you have some, probably. I had 2, and it just kind of blends in. So, and the colors were like, they weren't all that hot. So I did those, and then I was in the comments in the video where I showed that horned lizard, and I said I wasn't real thrilled about my yarn choice because the variegated on it was too busy. One of the ladies contacted me on Instagram and showed me a picture of theirs that they did out of Mystical, but with whatever the gray shade is, which I do not have. So I'm like, I really want to try that again because it's a cool pattern. The only thing I don't like on it is making the feet. But you do that first and then it's done and over with, and the rest of it is smooth sailing. So I thought about it a little bit, and I'm like, oh, which one would I use, you know? Do I want a pink lizard Not really. Do I want a black one? No, because I don't think I have enough left of the black or cinder, or whatever it's called, to do one. But I had 3 skeins of Canyon, and I'm not sure why I have 3 skeins of Canyon, but I do. And I had green, so I decided I'll do the Canyon. And this one looks a whole lot better. It's still like didn't come out to the way my brain, the way my mind sees it. But this is so much better than the last one. And he's a little bit smaller, because that other yarn was very thick and very stiff. And we know how soft this is. And even on camera, this guy looks so much better. Like, you can actually see the spikes. So I am going to have to get myself some more mystical colors. I thought I had a frosting color that would work, but I didn't. So I went with this. And I think, I mean, this turned out so much better than the other one. If you remember the other one, like, you can actually see the little spikes on it. And the mystical just, it's such a nice, smooth blend of colors. I mean, it's not too busy, if you know what I'm saying. It's just not too busy. So I like this one a lot better. And reds and oranges were in the colors when I Googled it, of what colors these things are. So this is the Horned Lizard by Crafty Kate. Look how the face is done. Like, you actually give it a little mouth, if you can see that. So you, after you've put everything together, you go and, well, I think you do it before you even sew the head on. Like, all of these little nubs, it's all done while you're crocheting in. They're all picots. Well, then you're going to attach to your head after you make the head, and you're going to do your picots, and then you're going to slip stitch around and come to the other side, and that slip stitch gives it like the lip line, and you do your other picots. So that was pretty cool how that was done. And this one I decided not to stuff the tail. That part was optional. So yeah, I like this one a whole lot better than the first one. And if I ever have the right colors, I'll probably like the third one a whole lot better than that one. So then, in a search for something different, and just like playing around on Etsy, I just searched crochet plushie patterns. Didn't give it any like specifics to narrow the search. I just wanted to see what was coming up. And usually the popular stuff comes up first. I mean, there was stuff that came up that looked like things, you know, like I already have the patterns. And it's people that are really popular, but there's also people I've never heard of before. And this next pattern is one of them. I don't know why pictures deceive me so much. For some reason, I thought I was going to end up with a plushie, you know, decent sized. But instead, I got a little bitty plushie. And this is a pattern by Elegant Purely. I've never heard of them. And it's this little wiener dog. And he's small, like he fits in my hand. And I thought it would be a little bigger. Now, I did have some issues with this pattern. not like major issues, but first off, I was disappointed that it was so small. So I want to say it's maybe 16 stitches around for the body. I'm thinking 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And I could tell because I did it right, did my count at this color change. So I knew where I started and stopped. So the body's only 16 stitches around. My personal opinion, you need at least 24 to give it some substance. So I was very skeptical about that. Then they want you to do slip stitch and join. They tell you that you can do it in a spiral, that is okay. But you'll probably have to adjust the placement of your bobbles, which, you know, we're used to that in just about every pattern. However, you're adding the tail into 1, 2, 3, the third round. So how far off can you have shifted in 3 rounds? So I get the tail in, and the next round is where you're going to start your bobble stitch. Well, if you're looking at the butt of the dog, I had a leg here and then a leg here. Like, it was way off. And I'm like, you can't be that far off that soon into the game. It just can't. So I had to adjust that. And because it's only 16 stitches, you've got 1 stitch in between the little legs. So it's like, it's almost like you don't have that degree of separation to make it look like that it's legs. And then you get the little bitty head. The ears were done the ears were interesting the way they came up with to get the shape of the ear. But it's way smaller than I expected it to be because, you know, pictures are so deceiving. So, like, compared to my head, here he is. He could sit on my shoulder. This is about the size of a baby kitten. Even a baby puppy's bigger than this. So, I'm not even sure 7-weight yarn would help this one out. Now, of course, I did the stripes for the color changes for the little sweater. If I were to do this again, following the same directions, I would probably just do this a solid color versus having all the color changes and the added work. Although it looks good with the stripes, you know, I might sit there and mess with it and see if I can figure out how to enlarge. And I'm sure I can. The head, it's just a matter of playing with it so that I can go up to at least 24 stitches on the body and make it have a little substance to it. So I had that. And I almost wasn't going to share that because it just looks funny. Just because. So then I was in Heather's live. If you don't know who Heather is, it is Cottontail Crafts by Heather. Her live was on Thursday instead of Wednesday. She had a bunch of stuff going on last week. So I'm in the live on Thursday, and someone asked me, did I get the message on Etsy? And I'm like, I don't know. Let me go look. So I open another tab, go over and check Etsy, and sure enough, they had sent me a request. They needed corn on the cob for a birthday party that's in July, I believe they said. And they would probably need a dozen of them. And they're a crocheter, but doing the amigurumi is not their strong point. So I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure I can do it. You know, so I looked to, at different patterns for the corn, and it's corn on the cob. But she wants them to go in a goodie bag, so you don't want them really big. And most of the patterns I was seeing was for acrylic and cotton, and popcorn stitches, or not popcorn stitches, bobble stitches and puff stitches, and I'm like, no, that's too much. Those things would come out huge even in Parfait Chunky. Then I came across one, and I'm like, well, this one's pretty cute. So I bookmarked it and kept looking, and then I just did like a Google search. I don't have to stay with Etsy. Let me see what else is out there. Looked on Instagram, but Instagram is getting so hard to search for things on. I know I have seen corn patterns on there. I have actually made a corn from an Instagram pattern, and that was when I first got some of the Dollar Tree's Just Chenille from, Premier's Just Chenille that's sold in Dollar Tree. And I made it out of that, which made it come out smaller, but so in Parfait Chunky, it's going to be really big, but I didn't like the shape. It was like too flat and rounded on the top. Needed to have more of a cone going on. I'm just like, what does corn on the cob look like? It has that little cone thing at the top. Yeah, so the corn is supposed to have like a cone head. So that pattern was out if I was going to follow the pattern. Now, what was kind of cool about that one is you could take the corn out of the husk. And the one that I saved on Etsy, you can't do that, but it's so much cuter. And it was going to be small enough to go in a goodie bag, but not so small that it didn't have any substance to it. So we worked on corn on the cob. Now, in Friday's live, I was making a whole bunch of the little husk leaves, and I got them all done in the live except for 6, enough for 2 of the cobs. So this pattern is from Kid Unique Crochet, which is also another one that I had never heard of. So we gave it a shot. And after the 3rd corn, that pattern is seared into my brain now. Especially the husk, because there's 3 on each times 12. That's 36 of them. That one is definitely double seared into my brain. But we have a whole bushel of corn. I was like, there's no way I can hold them all up and show them. So I busted out a basket so that I can show them to you all at once. So, and what a cute display that would make if you knew this would be something popular for market. Just have a bushel of corn, a little round, not wicker, but wooden, I know you know what I'm talking about, basket, and have some corn in it, and have a bushel of corn. So this order is done. Now I have to see if I have a box that will hold it all. Seeing how it's in here, I probably don't, because I need to get the dimensions and the weight, and then they can be off on their way. So the corn actually took me a little longer than I thought, because you know me, I don't like to batch crochet like that. So I had 5 of them completed with the husks and the faces and everything put on them. So I had 7 left to go, and I would make a couple of corn, just the corn part without the husk or anything. And then I'd go wander off and just chill and do nothing. Then I'd come back to it and I'd make a couple of corn and wander off. We went through this cycle. Like, I should have been done with this so early yesterday, but nope. I was being a slacker. Anyhow, it's done now. So I just need to, box, weigh, and go. And that's all I have. What is my favorite from today? Not the dog. Not the dog. All right, we're going to go, and we'll see you Wednesday.